Hello and welcome. Lovely to see those of you on the Zoom. I have a new microphone, so please just do tell me if the sound is not good enough or, yeah. So just give me like a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay, good. It should be better. So let's see. Okay, so today's theme for our weekly Zoom Satsang that we do every week at the same time is, what does awakening actually feel like? So before we get into that theme, I'd like to just take a few moments to feel into how we are right now. First of all, for those of you who are here on the Zoom, I'd really love to hear how you are in a few words. If you feel like typing into the chat, a few words, one word, a sentence maximum, just to get a sense of who is here and what is here, what is passing through, what are you bringing here today, this week. Yeah, you're welcome just to write whatever comes up for you. Yeah, Christina, a lot of sensations. Okay, yeah. Annette, I feel quite scattered and especially grateful for this half hour in your presence. Yeah, beautiful. Robert, I'm excited to be here. I have a quiet mind too. Nice. Catherine, I'm curious. For the first time with you, I feel present. Lovely. Welcome. Margot, happy and grateful. You're also welcome to write things that are not so positive. I mean, it's very nice that, you're feeling so great. But, oh, here, Dennis, need to calm down a bit. Okay. Yeah. It's just about being real, whatever is actually here. Not to doubt the positivity, of course, that's beautiful as well. Yeah, so, well, if there's more, if anyone else wants to write, you're welcome to write more as we go on. So now let's turn our attention, oh, hang on, there's one more. I'm here for the second time and just joined the retreat in Holland. Great, so I'm very curious. Yes, we have a retreat in Holland coming up in the beginning of August, and there are still places if any of you would like to join us. So great that Lisbeth, you are joining. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's turn our attention inward now, and we can gently close our eyes, take a few deeper breaths. With each breath, we can settle more and more here, now. Giving ourselves the gift of this time, this space, to just let go of everything else that's going on in your life. Just to be here now with all of your attention. You can always pick up whatever story or to-do list you have going on after this session if you still feel like. But for this time, just let it all go. And as we let go of these to-do lists or shoulds or shouldn'ts, all kinds of thoughts and ideas about who we are or our lives, we can just drop into stillness. Even if occasionally there are thoughts, thoughts also welcome to be here when we see that it doesn't disturb the true stillness that is always here. And this stillness is in fact who you are. This is your nature, always still. No matter how busy our lives are, this stillness is always patiently waiting, patiently present, radically still, no matter what. So as we sit here together, we can feel into this body. How is this body right now? Any aches or pains, contraction, expansion, whatever is here is welcome to be here. Noticing also any emotions, maybe subtle feelings, tenderness, vulnerability, or whatever it is for you. We just invite it all to be here, just the way it is. And then we can bring our attention to the sensation of sitting on this seat, wherever or however you're sitting, and the contact with the ground or the back of the chair, the feet touching the ground, the floor. And then again, take a couple of deeper breaths into the belly. And then when you're ready, we can open our eyes and come back to the screen, to these people on the screen. So, our theme today is what does awakening actually feel like? Yeah, quite a juicy question. Well, I feel like when we ask this question, and I do hear this question occasionally, it's not really that people are asking that specifically. They are asking more, am I awakened? Or what should I be looking for? How can I know if I'm getting closer or if I'm heading in the right direction? And usually we imagine awakening to be really extraordinary. We perhaps imagine it to be this constant blissed out state, or that we will never experience any discomfort or emotions, turmoil, thoughts. Perhaps we imagine that all of our old conditioning, traumas, wounds will just magically disappear, and we'll just be kind of skipping off into the sunset somehow. Yeah, and you know, when we imagine this, we of course are looking for some kind of escape from our reality, because perhaps our reality is uncomfortable. Perhaps our very ordinary reality is nothing special even. And so we're looking for something extraordinary, something that takes us out of our mundane human life into some kind of extraordinary state that then we can say, this is it, I've got it. And of course, awakening can include all kinds of amazing states and experiences. People do have experiences of bliss and big expansive states, and there are experiences of not much thought or no thought, and a kind of distance from emotions or turmoil or discomfort that can happen for a while until that changes. And what happens for many people is that you might at first have an experience of recognition where you realize that your true nature is not limited to who you thought you were. So it's not limited to this small me, this small story of me, and therefore a kind of contracted state in the body. We might have a realization, recognition that I am not my thoughts, I am unlimited. And this story of me is like the bubble is burst. And at first, this experience or this realization can provoke some kind of experience of, wow, like a big contrast to the previous state of contraction. So in contrast to that contraction, realizing that I'm not so limited as I believed in can feel very expansive. And for a while, we do seem to skip off into the sunset until something happens to bring us down to the ground again. Whether it is thoughts returning, telling some old story, something happens in our lives, something changes, some kind of tragedy or problem to deal with, a survival issue, and then suddenly we're back where we seemingly started, and our thoughts are telling those me stories in a way that can seem even worse than before. And even more painful sensations are felt. A kind of sense of contraction, that it feels even more contracted than what we remember before. And I would say that this is also a kind of contrast that we feel. We've had this experience of expansiveness, and then the thinking creates this story, and then there's the tension, the contraction. It can feel worse because we are comparing it to the previous state of expansion. And so then we often get into this kind of misunderstanding that we think that we need to get back there into this expansive state again, that perhaps we've done something wrong, we've forgotten, we've missed something, we're lacking something because we've contracted, and so we need to get back to this expansive state. And maybe we try all kind of practices, or we try to recreate the initial situation that seemed to cause the initial recognition, and perhaps it works temporarily, and perhaps you do have another expansive experience, perhaps not. And even if you do, that experience will be temporary again. And if you don't, you'll be again waiting for that experience, thinking that you still haven't got it yet, and comparing your present experience to that experience of expansiveness. And some people live like that for years. I've met people who have had an experience of recognition and that expansive state years ago, and they're still waiting to get back there, or trying to get back there. And this is quite a hellish state to be in, because nothing in your ordinary human life can seemingly compare to that beautiful expansive state in your memory. So what is actual awakening? Well, I would say it's not any kind of state. And at first, to really appreciate what I'm saying here, it can seem quite disappointing, because we are hoping for a state, and maybe we had a state, and we want to get back there, and we just can't accept that it is not any kind of state at all. It's not any kind of experience at all. In fact, awakening can feel like anything. Awakening is about meeting the present experience just the way it is. Knowing that I am not what thoughts say I am. I'm not this limited me story. I'm not located in here. There is no reference point. And in fact, I am aware of every experience or every state as it comes and goes. And so when we first start to recognize this, even if we don't have these beautiful, blissful states, it might start to feel quite disorientating as we lose more and more of who we thought we were, the beliefs about our lives, about life itself, about what the point of it all is, or the ground that we believed was safe and secure and certain starts to feel very shaky, because we are no longer believing everything that thought says. We no longer have a very fixed reference point of me, and therefore to navigate in life becomes more and more challenging as we shift out of this previous way of navigating from me and my life and where I want to go and what I want to do, or how life affects me. As we see through these kinds of thoughts and this story of me, life keeps unfolding, life keeps happening. Often very ordinary life goes on. And yet the focus, the focal point, or the reference point is no longer this small me. Even if you might still have thoughts or tell a story of me in your mind sometimes, or to other people, maybe there are even old conditioning patterns, traumas, wounds that are still playing out as if they are happening to me. And yet, when you recognize that you are that awareness of it all, then even when those stories of me come up, you can see that they are just simply thoughts arising, thoughts and sensations, emotions, or whatever is here, arising in the awareness that I am. And from there, everything is welcome, no matter what. It doesn't have to be only beautiful, spiritual, expansive states. Of course, we love those states, but awakening actually includes all states, everything that is here. And actually we start to see that we have no control over what kind of states or experiences are here. Everything is coming and going in who we are. And we are simply aware, watching the show of this person and her life, and at the same time fully in this person's life, fully engaging in daily life, feeling it all. Nothing is denied or avoided or escaped from. We see actually that there is no escape, because it's all happening in who I am. Where would I go? And so then we can start to feel more. We become more sensitive, simply because there's less resistance. There's less of these stories of me that put boundaries to protect me, right? So then there's more feeling. And it might be even that it's more uncomfortable feelings as we start to lift this layer of protection that has protected us against feeling discomfort or pain or fear. We have to inevitably start to feel those feelings. So at first it can feel quite uncomfortable, quite disorientating, uncomfortable. We don't know how to navigate. And yet, in staying with whatever arises as it does, knowing that it doesn't ever mean anything about who I am, because I'm not this small me, I'm always awareness of it all. then as whatever arises is felt, we can just be with it, and we may start to notice in the gaps in between whatever comes up that there is perhaps some kind of other kind of knowing or sense of what is true, what is right, not from our thinking, not from any concepts or beliefs. Comes out of not knowing in the mind, and we start to slowly discover that there is a different way of moving or navigating in the world, a different kind of motivation, not from the small me, but from life itself, a surrender to life itself, surrendering the small me's whole life into the hands of life itself. And then let's see, how does life want to move this human? How does life want to express itself using this human? This expression in words or actions or feelings, sensations, breath, interactions, environment, whatever it is, how does life want to use me? And this is what awakening is like, when we are surrendering our whole lives to life itself. There is no longer this small me that is holding on to any kind of control. Even if there might even be that story of I want to control, we can see it's just a joke, really. It's a joke arising in absolute surrender. Yeah, so this is a little taste of what awakening feels like. Yeah. So we've nearly come to the end of our time. So I'd love to, before we end, just hear again how you are, in a few words, if you want to type something in the chat, how you are right now, if anything's changed, or if not, it doesn't matter if not. And if there is a very short question, I can answer maybe one question. And in the meantime, just to say that next Wednesday I will take a break. I'm actually going to be at a festival, so next Wednesday there won't be one of these, but I'll be back again the week after. Yeah. So, Robert, happy, super cool to connect with you in the space you exist in. Yeah, and you. Christina, I just am. Nice. Lisbeth, your talk is very freeing. Will, extraordinary privilege. Thank you. Dennis, it was hard to focus, but doing better now. This was my favorite meeting so far. Oh, great. Annette, I can feel a sense of discomfort hearing all that, and grateful it is welcome too. Yes, discomfort's also welcome. Thank you. Definitely one to listen to again. Yeah. Margot, tantalizing. I'm looking forward to the retreat in Holland. Yay. Catherine, I feel grateful and found your talk inspiring. Nice. Well, thank you very much everyone. Lovely to see you all. And see you not next Wednesday, the week after. And if you feel to still join us in the Netherlands, you're very welcome. And if you can't make it to the Netherlands, you can also join online. Yeah. But of course, in person's always better. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Lots of love. Bye.